Welcome to Chakra Savvy, where knowledge becomes experience. Formerly Jess on the Mountain, I'm Jessica Goulding. In today's episode, we're continuing with our series, 7 Practices for Fostering Equanimity During Times of Change. As always, you can access Chakra Savvy Quickie Quiz or the more in-depth Chakra Savvy self-assessment and video guide at jessgoulding.com/podcast. If you're not sure where to start, I think you'll find either of those tools useful and the emails and links that go with them very helpful. First, I have been so excited to share with you how our first Chakra Savvy New Moon Intention session went. We focused on the energies where the Lunar New Year, the new moon in Aquarius, the year of the snake, and Chakra 1 all overlap. It was a pretty cool Venn diagram of things we could tackle. Think of all those things, a lot of scary things. And we had some beautiful and powerful themes emerge for us to work with as we developed our intentions. Things that came up were like releasing fear and limiting beliefs, right? So people let go of fears. There was fear of retiring, fear of change, fear of being misunderstood, and false beliefs about all kinds of things like inadequacy. Everyone just got to recognize what were some of those things that they needed to release in order to embrace what's coming next. So embracing change was a big theme, as some are stepping into a new chapter of life and they want to be open and curious. Some are just interested in the personal growth of how change can occur. There's a lot of empowerment and self-trust, which I love those two, very grounding lower chakra intentions. So they recognize their personal strengths, creativity, leadership, independence. There was some letting go of attachments, right? Some around expectations about outcomes, which is one of the most difficult practices we do, but it's so worth it when you can really release attachment to the outcome and just do what you know is yours to do. And just simply living with intention, right? So people were ready to move from reaction to conscious action. They wanted to have some autonomy in how they responded to the changes that are occurring in their lives. So overall, it was just a strong theme of transformation and stepping into personal power with clarity and courage. And this was just the first one. I think it'll only get better from there. I mean, I was inspired by their inspirations. We turned our intentions into affirmations, and now everyone has something to really work with, personal thing for the month ahead. The next new moon intention session is on Thursday, February 27th at 5 p.m. Central, and I hope you join us. We will look at where the new moon in Pisces overlaps with the energy of Chakra 2, right? Very watery day. So hint, hint, it's all about creating the best environment for our personal abode. Sign up anytime at jessgoulding.com/chakrasavvy, or I put a link there also on the podcast page. Oh, I also want you to know that my full spectrum 7 chakra course is now available for purchase. Chakra Savvy Reset Your Life Game Plan takes the chakra system step by step with yoga practices, meditations, affirmations, and lifestyle suggestions to help you set a new foundation and build the life you want. I mean, as long as the life you want is a life with greater ease and balance, more joy, and deeper meaning. So it's doing the practices. Practice and feel better. So you can learn more and enroll at jessgoulding.com/chakrasavvy. Okay, back to 7 practices for fostering equanimity during times of change. It is a mouthful, but I think it's what we need. We have got some whiplash going around about what's changing in the political world, in the world even nearby. I'm sure you're having changes in your personal life. There's always those, and there's big changes happening in the world. So how do we foster equanimity? That's all we can do. So if you haven't listened to podcast episode 49, Navigating Change, Finding Your Energetic Cracks, I encourage you to go back and listen and find out where you tend to leak your emotional, your physical, and your mental energy. We all have leaks. That's okay. We just kind of tend to do them a little differently. And so that can help you hone in on where you might be kind of have a fault line, as we've been calling it. So, I mean, self-study is just such an important part of being chakra savvy. So last episode we did fear, and what to do if fear is your natural stress response. Now we're going to look at what happens if your stress response is to get highly emotional or lose your healthy boundaries. When those things happen, you might be in the shadow energy of chakra 2, right? If you're highly emotional with stress, or you lose healthy boundaries and start, blaming others or becoming more codependent or oversharing, when things break down. So first, though, I want you to know this. Being emotional is not bad. Your emotions have good information for you if you're prepared to listen and respond. I mean, I consider being emotional having a good cry, and that is so cathartic. It can take the edge off some of your more intense feelings. Plus, when we cry, our body releases endorphins and oxytocin, which have a calming and soothing effect. So don't think for a moment that if you get emotional, it means you failed or did something wrong. The opposite is true. You have a front row seat to the feelings inside that need releasing. So go for it. Cry it out. It's it's only a shadow when the unhealthy aspects of the chakra take over. For chakra 2, that's often undeserved guilt. But as the emotional center of the system, I believe it can be any of the darker sides or darker shades of our emotional and mental connections. They only need addressing and validating. You have to see them, right? Like we said, shine a light on them, validate them, say, I see you. You're a true experience. I'm having a true experience of these emotions. Things need validating. We can't just deny them and think, no, I'm not feeling that way. That's a wrong way to feel. Okay, that's not validating. It's going to go down. It's going to go under. So they need addressing and validating so as to not be forced down. And then they'll just be made to sit there in your subconscious. They're not going anywhere. They're going to create patterns and cause chaos and confusion. So it's best to address and validate. Take a look at them. I mean, everyone has emotions, and we express the tough ones in different ways. Some will lash out, some overshare, others will turn the emotions inward on themselves. Some people avoid emotions altogether, and some simply become paralyzed. Many of us do a combo. And this is okay. This is part of life. But we want to have autonomy. We want to be able to make choices about how we express our emotions. So once you've had a good cry, or if you needed to punch your pillow, do that. But how do we navigate change without letting those emotions lead the show? So they're not going to be making the decisions. They're going to give us information that then our logical mind can come in and decide. So how do we do this? Well, breathe, right? It's as simple and profound. It's always that. Simple and profound. Breathe. We're going to do a little practice of the breathing that I think is helpful in changing the way you're feeling about what is bringing stress to your life. So we'll fill up the pelvic bowl, right? Chakra 2 is below the navel, above the pubic bone. So fill up the pelvic bowl with prana. Prana is your intelligent life force. It knows what you need. It knows how to heal. But if we lock it off, then that intelligence can't get there. And actually, your body also kind of can block blood flow. That's what these blocks can occur. They're not just energetic blocks, but you might kind of hunker down and freeze inwards, and then you reduce blood flow. And then the next thing you know, there could be pain. There can be other disorders of menstruation, digestion. So we really want good pranic flow. Okay, it's really important for prostate health and for the health of all the organs that rest there in the pelvic bowl. So we want our life force to go there and help us. And so we need to fill the pelvic bowl with prana and give the energy there a place to go. So it doesn't stay and stagnate, but rather moves through and gives us something to know and something to do. I think this is a good one to practice for a few minutes each day, especially if you know you're a chakra 2 or highly sensitive or emotional kind of person. That way, the practice will be there for when you really need it. So let's try this together. I invite you to sit comfortably. If you're standing, that's fine too, but soften your knees so that you have access to the energy of the earth. If you're sitting, feel your sitting bones connect to the earth and make your spine nice and tall. Allow to come to mind now something in your life that feels highly emotional, triggering, upsetting, or stifling. So is there something going on right now? And if nothing's right now, maybe you can bring it up from your past, right? Something that just kind of gives you a charge, whatever that may be. It might be a welling of sadness or anger, frustration, something highly emotional and triggering. Just as you think of it, notice what you feel in your body. Notice how you're breathing, just when you think of it. Okay, now let's begin to shift. Place one hand on the low belly, so the thumb there below the navel point, palm resting comfortably there. And you can put both hands on your low belly if you really like some good feedback, or slide the back of your other hand onto your sacrum. So there it is on the bony plate at the base of your spine. So you're kind of embracing the whole chakra too. Okay, so once you have your hands there now, allow your body to inflate on the inhale all the way into your hands. So you breathe in and feel your belly, maybe even your kind of sacrum area soften and expand into your hands as you breathe in. And as you exhale, allow your body to deflate. So it's like your pelvic bowl becomes like a balloon or a beach ball. So the breath in inflates all the way into your hands. And as you exhale, it's just an easy surrender. The body deflates toward your center. A couple more like that. Slow inhale, filling up. Exhale completely. No forcing, just let it go. Easy bringing in, easy letting go. And now we'll add a little ratio breathing. So I'll count and we'll do an inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2 counts, exhale for 6 counts. Okay, so the ratio is inhale 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. I'll guide you in. I'll let you go for a couple rounds as well. So now take a nice deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Breathe into the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in for 2. Exhale 6, 5. Slowly 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, softly 2. Breathe in 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 1. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just observe how you feel. Allow to come to mind that highly emotional or triggering thing you thought of earlier. Notice if you feel differently, even as it comes to mind. Okay, you might benefit from doing this practice a little bit longer, and I'm going to encourage you to do that on your own. Just notice. Right? Our emotions come from our thoughts, and our thoughts aren't always known to us, right? They might be subconscious, but the emotional self picks that up, and it might even create a physical response. So your whole mind, body, emotion system is working together. But if one takes over, if the emotional part floods you, you cannot be in that mind that helps you navigate that change with thoughtfulness and patience, or even just the way you would rather do it. So I think that this ratio breathing with the attention down into the low belly can be so helpful for fostering a way to handle when life's emotions come up. You have them, let them move through, and then come into this kind of practice where you think of it and then apply the opposite, right? It's pratipakshibhavanam. We are applying the opposite of a fear breath, and we are moving into a longer breath. This breath practice that you just did, it changes us from the sympathetic fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? Those are some fear responses. It changes us from that to the parasympathetic nervous system where we rest and digest, right? So digestion requires the prana to be nice and full down in the low belly. So you've already helped yourself. If you're struggling with some digestion issues, you've already helped yourself a little bit in that regard. Practice, accumulate the experience, and it will continue to reap some benefits. So once you're in the parasympathetic, the rest and digest system, you're out of your emotional brain and you're back in your logical brain, so you can determine your next step. You won't explode so much or become paralyzed or experience flooding. You also know that there is something inside of you that is asking to be seen, validated, and it just needs to be transmuted or transformed. Okay, so it's a long process, but through simple breathing. You see it, validate it, and then decide, transmute, transform. What do we do with this? Okay, that's when the work begins. In Chakra Savvy Reset Your Life Game Plan, I have a super helpful life lab about emotions. You can kind of picture this as I describe it. It's a video that contemplates the different ways water moves, from rushing rapids to a stagnant pond. It just shows a video of those different things, knowing that we have a reflection of that inside of us. It always gets a big response from students because a visual representation of how we feel inside can be so impactful. Sometimes we just need to see, make visual what's on the inside so that we can work with it and turn and look at it in different ways. And then you'll, of course, never look at a body of water the same again. After all, we are the same as all the energies here on Earth. So this is your water energy because we are directly descended from her. We are created of the same things. So it's well and good to connect to anything in Earth that gives you the experience of what you have going on inside. So water can do that for you. Okay, so here's your homework this week. Take a few minutes a day to practice this ratio breathing with your hands on chakra 2. Maybe you do it right after you brush your teeth. Maybe you do it while you're in the carpool line. Maybe you do this, right after dinner or as part of your bedtime routine. Find a place in your life. I mean, it's 5 minutes where you can pause and do this breath. Okay, you'll just do the ratio breathing, bring to mind something that is challenging you first, then do the ratio breathing, which is in for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. See if it changes your experience of what you're up against. And then, of course, let's check in about that next week. Until then, may you embrace your emotions as a means of communication between you and your inner self. And may you honor those emotions with acceptance and attention. Much love.